Hi, this week's column is about men's moisturisers. I did a men's fragrance column last year and it proved really popular, and I got lots of emails and so on from men saying when would I do another men's column. So I am going to endeavour to do them more often, and I thought I could do it for Valentine's Day because maybe some female readers are looking to buy their other half something a bit out of the ordinary from the usual kind of cliche Valentine's presents. It's a bit of a red herring, actually, I should say at the top, about doing a men's moisturiser column, because actually some of the columns some of the products I've recommended aren't specifically targeted at men. Now, I'll explain myself. I have been to hundreds of press launches for men's skincare products, and at each one you tend to get somebody explain to journalists about how, you know, a scientist or whatever, explain to journalists about how men's skin is different and has to be treated in a different way, the makeup of it is different and so on. And I should just add here that I don't believe that. I don't believe that men's skin is different. I think it is more likely to be certain things, so it's more likely to be oily, it's more likely to be shiny, it's less likely to be dry and so on. And those are characteristics of men's skin, but the actual way that skin is made up is no different, in my opinion, on men as it is on women. I've never been convinced. Skin is skin. It's an organ, for goodness sake. It's no different, I don't think, in men or women. What is very, very different between men and women in their approach to skincare is men tend to have very clear preferences on how they want their skincare to feel on their skin. So, as a very kind of wide and demonstrable trend, men tend to be very aware of things that feel greasy and tacky on the skin. They tend to prefer things that sink in very quickly, even if they're on the drier side. Men tend to prefer moisturisers that do kind of everything in one. You're unlikely to find many men who are going to use a serum, for example. Men like tubes, not jars, and they like those sorts of light textures where you can kind of walk around all day and not feel them on your skin. Now, those are preferences, those are shopping trends, those aren't any difference in skin. So those are the only things I've paid attention to in the column. I haven't paid attention to the kind of scientific guff which I don't actually buy. So I should say that before we go on. The other thing that we know men are aware of, and I certainly know it from the men I know, is packaging. Obviously, lots of men aren't going to want kind of very girly packaging, and one of the most popular types of packaging for men seems to be pump dispensers, because they're really hygienic. You're not kind of dipping your fingers in, you just get a couple of pumps after shaving and put them on. One place where men do go wrong is that men will quite often be convinced to buy a moisturiser with fragrance in because you're buying your fragrance, your aftershave or whatever, and there's a balm to go with it, and that seems like an easy option. I wouldn't recommend that because most of these contain alcohol. Alcohol will dry out your skin, and often it will only exacerbate oiliness because your skin's trying to catch up and produce more oil. So I've avoided those two. There's nothing from a perfume range in those I've chosen. So I just want to talk you through a couple of brands that I think are really great for men. This is by Ren. Ren is such a good brand. It's really simple, really good quality, really clear packaging, really clear instructions, directions and so on. And this one by Ren is specifically designed at men. Multitasking Aftershave Balm. So what this does is it keeps the skin moist, it soothes it after shaving, which can really aggravate men's skin and certainly would be aggravated by like an aftershave balm from a fragrance line or whatever. And it's just such great packaging, and there are lots of moisturisers in the Ren range that would be suitable for men that aren't specifically targeted at men like this one, and the fact that the packaging is this way makes them totally unisex, totally easy to just shove that in a gym bag or whatever, and it feels applicable to both sexes. This one is though for after shaving, so if you have or your other half has very irritated, red, blotchy skin after shaving, something like this would be great. Another brand that does this very well is Origins and Clinique. So Origins and Clinique both do very sort of soothing aftershave balms that also give you a kind of hit of moisture as well to keep your skin hydrated. Another thing I really want to say about men's skincare is lots of the big brands will have a men's range where the moisturiser is exactly the same as the women's moisturiser, but it's in male packaging. So for example, Clinique does this, so Dramatically Different Moisture Lotion is so great, you don't need to change it for men, and it's repackaged for men as M Lotion, but it's exactly the same product inside. Cleanse and Polish by Liz Earle comes in men's packaging, exactly the same product inside. It's just instead of coming in a green pump, it comes in a grey tube, and so on. There are a number of brands who do this, and I sort of think that's, you know, that's better really. That's more honest. It's just accepting that men have different preferences rather than their skin needs different treatment. Not all men have oily skin, but a great number of men do. And in this instance, I would always recommend a moisturiser that's oil-free. So that is a moisturiser that won't clog pores, won't add oil to the skin, will just hydrate it with things like hyaluronic acid. And these sorts are really great for men. And they also have that added benefit of not having that tacky texture that men seem to really, really not like. Despite what I've just said about most men having oily skin, and they do, it's the most common complaint from men, some men do have really dry skin, and there are certainly lots of products available for that. Not many men's products though. Clinique do a great product in the men's range, which is their version of Moisture Surge, the male version of Moisture Surge. But apart from that, I would probably go off-piste and get a product kind of designed for women. There are lovely ones from Nukes. I loved this because the packaging is so kind of clean and simple, completely unisex, doesn't feel girly, but gives a bit more moisture than your average men's moisturiser. Don't have to spend lots of money either. Aveeno, I thought this was really great. Oil-free moisturiser with an SPF 15, because men need sun protection just the same as women do. They're not as good at using it, so to incorporate it into a daily moisturiser is a really good thing to do, so they don't kind of notice they're doing it. Trilogy, another brand that's great for both sexes, just such a kind of anonymous, neutral packaging, and this is really lovely and moisturising, really comforting on the skin. Aveeno is another great brand, again very, very unisex, available in boots, SPF 20. Lovely way to incorporate sun protection in there because it is absolutely essential. Anyone who's walked around in the summer, you see more sunburnt men than you do women. You know, you see that awful British thing of men with no shirts on and sort of bright red. Men seem to think they're immune from sun protection for some reason. So great to just pack it into a moisturiser so there's one step and they don't have that greasy sun protection feel. The Organic Pharmacy is a really great brand because again the packaging is so neutral, but this I think is brilliant. Ultra dry skin cream, so a really, really rich moisturiser for people with very dry skin, and you know lots of men have that too, kind of eczema, cracked skin. Some men even sort of bleed after shaving, their skin is so dry, and something like this would be fantastic. It's got no smellies in, no girly smells, no fragrances, colours, petrochemicals, that sort of thing, and that would be ideal. So in terms of routine, obviously I don't expect you to start using serums and things like that, but you do want to start with a cleanse, and I don't expect you to go through a hot cloth cleanse and all the things that I recommend for women, because I know that that's unlikely to happen. But you do need to start with a cleanser. So if you just take a simple unfragrance cleansing wash, something by Simple or Olay or Nivea or something like that, and just keep it in the shower, just lather up in the shower, rinse it off. The whole thing will take 5 seconds and your skin will just be nicely prepared for skincare. Do not use shower gel, do not use shampoo on your face. I've heard of men doing this, washing their face in shampoo, and it just makes me wince. It's totally not suitable for skin. You're going to irritate your skin, especially if you're going to follow up with a shave, or indeed if you've had a shave before getting in the shower. Just use a simple face wash just to prepare the skin. Then when you come out of the shower, as fast as you can, dry off your face and whack on your moisturiser. Because that's just going to comfort the skin and stop it flaring up and stop it getting red. And then your sun protection will be in there, and then you'll be ready for the day. So my top 6 picks are in the column. I should say that not all of them are specifically marketed at men, but they've all been tested on men and found to be very agreeable against various skin types. And I think you will like them. Let me know if you or your other half has a particular favourite, or if you've tried any of those I recommend. Let me know how you get on in the comments section. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.